Hello, good morning. I'm recording this extremely early in the morning. It's like 3 a.m., but my schedule's been all messed up. Today we're in the Sims 4 building we're not building, we're doing a remodel of the Crick Cabana in Willowcreek. I have one save where I've already remodeled all of these, but since it's been so long since I've built in the Sims 4, I figured I would start a new save file and just start again. I will pretty soon be getting back to Planet Zoo. I actually hopped in the other day and did a little bit of work by myself, as I said I was going to. I did the interior of the little building by the bison and pronghorn habitat, and then I just did some stuff around. I think I'm gonna go in and finish building the little extra food area that I started as well, because don't really need to film me building another food area, especially one that's just tiny like that. But anyways, for this build, I didn't really have any plans of what I was going to do with it, and since I started with the gray stairs, it kind of just evolved into being a gray, well, it's kind of like black and white and gray build. I don't really know if that matches the area around, but it kind of gives it a more modern flair, at least from a decoration standpoint. I had a lot easier of a time with this one, especially with the roof, but I went in and practiced a little bit with the controls before I started this one, because I realized it had been months since I'd played this game, so it was probably best that I practice a little before I try to film myself doing anything in it and making a fool of myself. I definitely want to keep building in The Sims 4. I think one of my next projects is to go in and fill up Newcrest, which so many simmers have tried to do that, and sometimes they finish, sometimes they don't. It's kind of a big project, and it can be discouraging after a while. You just get kind of tired of filling it up, especially because every time you make a new save file, you have to rebuild in that world. But I kind of want to use these as just a base that I can, if I ever start a new save file, I can just dump them into that world and not have to worry about it. I'm not the best at making community lots, but I think that would be a good place to just practice. And maybe I would film those and maybe I wouldn't. Anyways, so for this one, the outside, I decided to go dark. I really liked this dark gray paneling, and I don't see that around very often. At first I was going to try to use that green roof and just be crazy all around, but I chickened out and just went with the basic scale dark and put some cement down on the platform piece. I was having problems with my... Well, I always have problems with my mods. I don't really understand why they keep messing up, but it was mostly the debug, and I actually ended up having to go out and figure out why it wouldn't show some of my stuff. But I'm trying to keep this one on the relatively low price end. I think it ends up being around 15k by the end of it. So again, we're using the cheaper appliances and cheaper countertops and all of that. I, at one point, was thinking on the interior there, oh, I'm gonna have like splashes of a specific color around. And I kind of do. I kind of end up having blue or like steel gray blue in some areas, but I wanted something bright and colorful, but it just wasn't working out for me. So I just stuck with the gray stools there. Went black on the upper cabinets instead of the gray. I'm not really sure why that gap keeps getting left there. I feel like in the past that wasn't a thing. Oh, and I put a fire alarm in this house. I didn't put one in the last house. My bad. I guess it makes it funner or more dangerous, however you like to play your Sims. But this one has a fire alarm, and the trash can, and all the basics. So yeah, with the couch and that rug, I added a little bit of blue. And there's a little color in the paintings. That rug in particular makes me so mad. You see me fiddle with it later on. I don't understand why that one swatch that looks like it should be gray is like a warm brownish color. I really don't understand, and it makes me mad because it does not match the swatch that it shows at all. Managed to squeeze a lot into this tiny little space though. You have a place to eat and a full kitchen with a little island and a nice little living space with a TV. There's no computer in this one, unfortunately. Again, I was trying to keep it on the lower end price. I'm sure you could, well, obviously. I feel like later on, if in your gameplay, you could probably put a little desk there down the hallway in front of that window. I actually contemplate putting one in the living room, but it's too cramped. And I'm just like, no. Even if I put one in, it's gonna cost too much. I also found out from my last video that there is a taller, skinnier version of that dresser. My bad. It's just more expensive. It's like 470 simoleons compared to this one that's 410 or something like that. Pretty bare bones bedroom. I wanted to get some kind of books in there for learning purposes, but other than that, it's just kind of a basic bedroom to grow into and add stuff as you go. I keep the walls on the blue side just to match the blue that I have going on in the rest of the house. I kind of feel like I wish I had added more of that throughout, but hey, I like how it turned out. I like monochromatic color schemes personally. I went for black, what do you call, I don't even know what you would call things in a bathroom. Appliances? Black appliances in the bathroom. With, again, some little blue accents with the towel, the rug. And that's a neat little trick that I'm sure all of you have heard of from other simmers in the past, but if you have move objects cheat on, you can set an object on a counter space and it will stay at that level, move the counter away, and then you can move around the little objects to get them exactly where you want. That way you don't have to just leave objects where they snap to. Here's me trying to put a desk in, but realizing that space is just too cramped, and the problem was that wall just seemed so blank to me, so I ended up moving the window over to try and fill that in. Using a lot of blue. I really wanted to use that black tile, but it felt clashing in the bathroom, so I ended up using it as the backsplash in the kitchen instead. Making a little bit of an accent wall. And here we're heading outside to actually utilize the correct landscaping this time around, because the last time I didn't have debug stuff on, so I had to pay for my landscaping, which is just awful. But here we have it the correct way, so I have all of my debug landscaping. One thing I noticed in my last build, completely and utterly my bad, was I said that it was base game, but apparently it wasn't. When I went back and looked, it was, what did it have in it? Dream Home Decorator and something else. I think it was the new Horse Ranch expansion. And I don't know what it is I used from both of those, but apparently I did. So if you download that house, and you're expecting it to be base game only, I do apologize. I didn't use much from either, so I'm sure whatever it is easily replaceable, but this one is base game. I checked after the fact, so. So I have better build by, which allows me to copy debug stuff. Normally you can't do that. You have to go in and like set down as many pieces as you think you're gonna need, but yeah, I love that mod. It makes life so much easier picking out debug stuff. Pretty much all, I think all this landscaping is debugged, so that's really nice. Saves a ton of money, and I contemplated making a little rock thing, but it didn't feel like it matched the area around, so laying down our little bit of terrain paint around the edge of the house. And as I always do, I use a little of the terrain paint that's just flowers to kind of make things pop. And this time I have a little cinematic first-person view just to show the house off. We have a full kitchen, a small dining room, our living room. Head down the hall to the bedroom. So yeah, I think this house turned out pretty cute. It's definitely a specific color and style that not everyone will be into, but I'm definitely into this kind of thing of just limited color palette, so especially black and white. So there you have it. That's the house. If you are interested in downloading it, it's under Copper Kitty Sims, I believe, is my EA handle. And next time, I don't know what we'll be doing. Maybe I'll do more Sims, but I think I'm going to move on and work on the grizzly habitat for Planet Zoo. So if you want to see that, go ahead and like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Bye.